Okay, so we were talking about the security. So compared to the Windows operating system, Linux is very secure. One is that the command-based operating system. You must know the commands to access the operating system. And so many security levels we have. So we have one concept of the that's in Linux. We have one course also on that. So in that, you know, that they're going to teach the completely about the security levels, concepts, how and all that you can secure the operating system that they're going to teach. And there is one exam also on that. It's very difficult to clear the exam. If you wanted to go for that course, no, you have to have good hands-on experience on the Linux operating system, and you have to have scripting knowledge, you have to have network knowledge, you have to have hacking knowledge. So then only you will understand the concept. So simply going for that and sitting it, don't understand anything in that. Okay, so all the security concept, it comes in that. So the next one, it is a virus-free operating system. See, in the Windows operating system, what we do, so after installation of the operating system, first we will see that the antivirus. Okay, so suppose for an example, if I'm going to give one pen drive for you to copy some document, you will copy directly. Why? You will scan. Why you will scan? If there is any virus, if it is there, so it will be problem for after a couple of days. You feel like slowness in the operating system, it gets sang, that all the problem comes. So that is what all the time you have to scan it. And for that antivirus, again, you have to pay. 1,000 rupees change for 1 year plan you have to pay. But in the Linux, it's a virus-free operating system. Don't think that we don't have the antivirus. We have the antivirus software for this Linux also. But some server, some reasons they install it. Otherwise, not for all this server. Okay. So the next one, I was telling that. So C partition in the Windows. Yes. So in the C partition, I've seen that what are all we have in the C partition in the Windows. What do we have in the C partition? If you go to my computer, C, D, E, F, U, C. No, what do we have in the C? Software. What software? Operating system related bootable files, configuration files, logs and scripts, some program file, that all it contains. Now, the one which is contains in the C partition, if you try to open that any of the file, might be you're in the admin account, but still you cannot open it. Okay, so suppose forcefully you will open it, which you cannot read the data of that. You have a lot of restrictions in the Windows operating system. But if you come to the Linux, no, or if you're in the admin account, so you can access everything. You can customize according to your requirement. Any of the concept, if I feel, okay, it should not work like this. It should work in the different way in the sense, according to the certain configurations file that I have to modify it. If I'm going to modify it, then I will be able to access accordingly. Okay, so this is all about in the security we have. The last one that we have the everything is a file. So in the Linux that we are going to call that everything that we are going to call it as a file only. Even the directories which I said once I execute the ls command, now the blue color which you see, for that also we call it as a file only, which means the complete name of that directory file we call it. So it's not only for the file and directory, hardware devices, motherboard and keyboard, mouse, everything. We are going to call it as a file. So once I come to the file system unit, I will give the more details on this. Okay. So as of now that we have discussed about the 5 features, multi-user, which we can log in for the multiple users in one shot, and multitasking, multiple applications or tasks can be performed, open source, free operating system, and security. It's very secure compared to Windows. And the last one, it's everything is a file. Okay. So these are all the 5 features we have discussed now. So now I'm just going to show you some commands. Okay. So the first one, I'm just going to show you that if you wanted to see the architecture of the operating system, you have to go for the command called uname -. So it has the 64-bit architecture. Otherwise that you can go for P also you can go for, otherwise you can go for I you can go for, or AFCH. See this one command, if you remember, it's more than enough. So here I have the 4 commands, all the possible option I have shown you. Just remember one, you can see the architecture of the operating system. Okay. So the next one, if you wanted to know that what operating system that you're using it. So you have to go for O for operating system. So I'm using the Linux operating system. So the one which you can see that the GNU, I will tell you what is the GNU it stands for after some time. So the next one, I just go for N. Uname -N. N, it shows the name of the system. So in my system, you can see the output of this, the redhat.example.com it's showing. But in your system, it shows the output. It's a localhost.local domain. because my system I use for different classes, and yours is a fresh system, newly installed. The by default name, you will get the local host, not local domain. How to change it, that name, that we will see that in the further classes. Otherwise, that you can run the host name command also can run. Both the output it is same. Uname space -n, host name, both the output is same. See, instead of going for this, all the multiple options, multiple commands, all the details, if you wanted to see that together, just go for one option called A for all. Okay, so date and time it shows, and what is the name of the system, what is the kernel version, architecture, what desktop we are using it, that all you will get it in one shot. Okay, instead of going for the multiple commands on above, just go for this. Okay, so any questions as of now in the features of Linux and this few commands that which I've showed you here? Clear? Okay, so let's go for the next one. So the next one, we will see that types of desktop. We have the two types of desktop we have. So one is the GNOME, and the second one we have the KDE we have. We have the two types of desktop we have. One is GNOME and KDE. So what is the GNOME full form? So GNU's Network Object Module Environment. GNOME full form, it is GNU's Network Object Module Environment. Okay, so what is the KDE? It's a cool desktop environment. KDE full form, it's a cool desktop environment. It's not COL, it's a KOL, you have to give it here. Cool desktop environment. See, by default, in all the flavor of the Linux, in all the versions that you will be having the GNOME desktop. See, GNOME desktop, again, that you never have the graphical. So if you have the graphical access on any of the server, by default, you will be having the GNOME desktop, you will be having it. Okay, so what about the KDE then? KDE, by default, the package is not installed. In the future, in your future, when you're working on any of the Linux server, if they ask you to install that and on any of the server, that you have to go for this command and install it. If you wanted to go for this KDE desktop, so if you wanted to install it, you have to go for this command, and this it takes some time to get installed, because one more desktop it has to launch, and minimum 2 to 2.5 GB free space is required to install this package, because it has the graphical desktop. Now, a lot of packages is there to install it. Okay, so I'm just coming out from here. So by default, we are having the GNOME desktop, we are having it. See, both it's same only. GNOME desktop and KDE desktop. See, GNOME desktop, which you already have seen that. This is my GNOME desktop. Okay, KDE desktop, what happens? No, so it's a quite changes we have compared to this GNOME desktop. In the Windows operating system, so here if you click on the start, and all the application will open. So whatever we want, we can access it. No, the same thing in the KDE desktop, we have an option called document here. In the down document, if you click on that, all the application will open, whichever you want, you can access it. So that is in the GNOME, KDE desktop. Rest all concept and commands, rest all it's same. Okay, so the next one. So here, if you come to the GNOME desktop, or KDE desktop, after logging into the server, I wanted to know that what desktop I'm using it. So for that you have to go for the command, the uname space -o. For operating system, I said that it's a Linux operating system. I'm using it here. But if you wanted to know that what type of desktop I'm using it, you have to go for GNU. GNU, it's a GNOME desktop I'm using it. Suppose in place of GNU, if you get KDE, you're using the KDE desktop. Okay. So now that the next one, I'm just going to minimize this terminal. So now in this GNOME desktop, I'm going to show you where and all what all the options that we have. Where and all what all the options we have. So you can see here that the first one, it's a application, places, and system. So let's go for one by one. If you see that the applications, we have accessories, and instead of that, we have the many options: graphics, internet, sound and video, and system tool. Inside, we have the multiple options we have. So on the next one, you have the places: home folder, desktop, documents, music, pictures, videos, downloads, computer. In Windows, we have my computer. Here we have computer we have. See, this above details, we have the same stuff that we have in the Windows also we have. Okay, so here that next one, we have the network. Any network changes, if you wanted to do it to the graphically, you have to go here and connect to server. What is this connect to server? If you wanted to connect from one server to another server, that you have to go for connect to server option. This is Linux to Linux. Now you have been using the Windows system for many years. How you connect from one Windows server to another Windows server? What is the default tool we have in the system? How do you connect? If you wanted to give the control of somebody, control of your system for somebody, you have to connect it, sir. to the network? How you will connect it? Huh? TeamViewer, okay, but that is not the default one you have. No, in the that you have to install that software. But default one, what do we have in the server in the system? Remote desktop have your remote desktop. So that is the default one we have. So with the help of that, you can take the control of other system. You can log into the other system. Okay, and we have many software, as I said, TeamViewer and many softwares we have. So the next one we have here can search for a file. So through the graphically, if you wanted to search any file, might be you have kept somewhere, you have forgot. So if you wanted to search it, you can go and search it here. But in the further classes, we will see through the command to find out. So the next option here, we have system and we have the preferences. In the preferences, we have many options again, display and keyboard, mouse and network. This
Voice is breaking.
What about others, guys? Online guys, what about others?
Sir, your voice is not coming. It's breaking.
Now it's clear. Online guys, speak fast. It's clear or still you have issue? Okay, so the next options we have here, the preferences. In the preferences that we have, the many operating system related details that we have. But very important one that you have to see this, the administration. In this administrations that you can see that the add and remove software. See, just some time back that I showed you one command is so YOM install KD start space -y. In the Linux operating system, if you wanted to install anything, you have to go for the YOM command. In the Windows, if you wanted to install anything, what do? Yesterday, you have installed Oracle VirtualBox. Is it what you have done? I have given the link. You have clicked on that. Normally, if you wanted to install, what do? You will go to the browser, and from browser, you will download and install it. But that is a very easy steps you have. But here in the Linux, if you wanted to install anything, always that you have to go for YOM command, you have to go for. See, the same function, if you wanted to do it to the graphically, this is the first options they have given here. Add and remove software that we have here. Okay, and the next options we have here that you can see authentication, date and time. Date and time already we have discussed, and firewall, kernel crash dump, printing. Printing we have. What is printer? What do you do with the printer? Print the document. So how many types of printer we have? Huh? Types of printer. No, black and white is not the printer. And don't tell me the name of the printer, laser and that all the name. We have the two types of printer. One is local printer, network printer. See, normally we keep the one printer at home for any emergency if you wanted to print it. But if you go for the organization, so if in the organization, if there are 500 people, they give the printer for all of them. Then, so yes, one now you must be have seen outside shops, no, that Xerox, the big one that you have, the same thing that advanced one they keep it. You can Xerox it, you can fax it, you can scan it, color print out and print out. All that can be done in one. So that is to the network. You will be having the quota concept. Quota in the sense it's a limit. So in the organizations, you cannot blindly take like 200, 300, 400 pages and all. Each guys will be having the limit, 50 or 100 pages. So once you cross the limit, you have to request the IT guys to extend, adding your manager. If your manager approves, then they will extend the quota of that. Okay, that we call is a quota concept. Okay. So the next one we have here, Redhat subscription manager, origin registration. Okay. Okay, so here the direction registrations we have here. So if you wanted to get this register, you have to quarterly, you have to pay some amount. Yearly plans are there. So why you have to register with this Redhat network? So which means that you will get all the updates. Might be they have launched one new software or new version of the operating system, or the existing one you have done some update. That all the notification you will get it all the time. You cannot go to Google and find out. So if you get the notification, no, if it is required. So for my organization, for my client, if it's required, I can implement it. Okay, so that is what they get it register here. And services you can manage to the graphically here that we will see in further classes through command. Software update. The last one is user and group. Might be in 1 or 2 days that we are going to discuss about this user and group concept. Next one we have here documentation. So one document we have here. So we have multiple pages of the document. I mean, multiple pages of the details we have here. No need to go through complete document. Just see the initial one along with the screenshot. They have given some concepts so that you can start comparing with the Windows. You will get some concepts here. So the next one is the help options. In the Windows also we have this help. If you wanted to have any help on any command, you can go for this. About this computer, I just clicked on that. Can you see here that the GNOME icon? I told you that from the command prompt, I'm using the GNOME desktop itself. You can see this icon. If you're using the KD desktop, that icon it shows here. So redhat.example.com, that is my system name, but in your system, it shows that localhost.local domain it shows. So Red Hat Enterprises Linux server, release version, kernel version, GNOME version, you can see. Hardware, memory, and so 1 GB I have taken. It's more than enough. Processor details, it shows. Available disk space. After doing all the partitions, still 3 GB free space I have here. Okay, so this is some basic details we have. This all in the further classes we will see from the command. Next one, here logout root. So here that once you click on that, so logout, cancel, and switch user. If you wanted to switch from one user to another user, what is the command? SU is the command. To logout, exit. The same thing that they have given here through the graphically they have given. I just canceled. So the next option we have here, shutdown. So you can see here, restart, you can see, cancel, you can see, shutdown, you can see. See, this is to the graphically. So after usage of everyday system, overall have installed. Now, okay, so now practice is done. So now I wanted to close it in the sense, don't directly close this window. Okay, don't directly close this window. After usage of your system every day, you have to run this command, the init 0. Init 0 is to shut down this server, shut down the system. Don't think that your Windows system is going to shut down. No, only your Linux system is going to shut down. Okay, some reasons if you wanted to reboot it, then you have to go for the init 6 that you have to run it. Okay, init 6 you have to run it. Init 6 is to reboot the server. Even in the, it's not only for your system, I'm telling, in the future, when you're running, when you're using the Linux operating system, if the client asks you to shut down, you have to go for the same command. If they ask you to reboot, you have to go for the same command. Okay, we have the multiple command, but this is the preferred command. Properly, it will shut down and properly it will reboot the server. Okay, so the next one, I just minimize this. Yeah, so that's all in this. So the next one, you have the browser. So you have the graphical browser we have here. So in the further classes, what is the text browser? Because we never have this, the graphical desktop. No, if you have the graphical desktop, I can access Firefox, Google Chrome, everything. But in the text mode, we can access only the text browser we can access. That we will see in the further classes. One notepad I have here, volume management, network connectivity, battery backup, date and time, and which user I have logged in. Already this all that we have seen. So whatever the details so far we have seen, that all which we have in the top panel bar. Okay, so if you come down, you can see here that the computer, roots home, and package directory I have created, and trash. So this all, it's a 4 icons we have. This complete space that we call is a workspace we call it. Okay, so the next one, if you see that in the down, the terminal which I have minimized it, that I can see here, the terminal that which I have minimized it, that you can see, and here that the trash in this corner. You can see trash again here also in the workspace also you have. And can you see this 2 box you have here? This we call is a workspace. This we call is a workspace. What is the function of this workspace and how this can be accessed? Now you can see here on the screen, I have the 2 workspaces I have here. So let's go for this one terminal. You can see on the screen 1 terminal. Already a couple of commands I have run here. I'm just going to open 1 more terminal. This is the empty terminal. So assume that there is some activity going on this, and I wanted to close this empty terminal. By mistake, if I'm going to close this, what happens? The activity or some jobs which is running, it's going to interrupt or it may get killed. Okay, there are more chances it may go for escalation. Otherwise, I need to start that activity again. Instead of that, what you can do, if you don't want to have any interruption for that, just right click and move to another workspace. I'm just moving to workspace. Okay, so that 1 more terminal, it's not present here. So if you wanted to see that the more terminal, you have to go to the workspace 2. If I go to the workspace 2, that I can see here. Okay, so now here, what is the maximum workspace can be open? Just right click that one of the box. So now here you have an option called preferences. If you go to the preferences that you have here 2 by default, and maximum 36 workspaces can be open. So now I just click on close. Can you see that in the down here? So we have the multiple workspaces we have got. So I just remove that all. I just make it 4 by default. So previously I was having 2. Now I just made it 4. Okay. So this is all about the desktop, that how you can access it, graphical desktop. Okay. You don't need to worry about much on this because you never have this graphical desktop. So only you have to concentrate on much on the commands. So whatever the graphical option I have showed you, that's all. So till the last day of the Linux class, each and every unit and each and every stage that we will go for the command prompt only. Okay, because the graphical, no use. I just have showed you the graphical option so that you can start compare with the Windows operating system. So because from many years you're using Windows, is there? You can start compare how it looks and how you can see that all the details, that all this stuff. Any questions do you have so far? No. In this graphical, there is no limit. But if you go for the TUI, then there is a limit. 64 is the limit for that. That we will see that in tomorrow's class. Okay. Online guys, any questions do you have on this so far? Just few commands, hardly like around 15, 20 commands we must be have seen. Hardly around 15 commands. Any question? Okay, so if no questions, we'll wind up for today. So still this first unit, it's not done. We will continue tomorrow. The first day itself, if I take more, it will be heavy for you. It takes at least 1 week for you to adjust for this all commands. Okay, so slowly we will go for the first week. So from next week, obviously you have more commands, you will be having it. Okay, so fine. Recorded sections I will update in the Google Drive. Still it's not created. In 5 minutes, I will create it and I will send the Google Drive link. Okay, so in that link, every day the recorded sections will be updating. And yesterday's the introduction class also I will update it. Okay, fine. Then we'll wind up for today. See you tomorrow.